Ah, boy. All right, parallels. This is simultaneously one of the least useful and most interesting to ponder episodes in the entirety of TNG. Why? Because it steps outside of TNG in terms of, forward progression and looks at what might have been in a different timeline. Hmm. This is, uh, best illustrated as a concept by this shot of multiple versions of Worf from 7 different timelines standing in the same room with each other and looking slightly different but nearly the same. Like here he has a red uniform and is a commander. Here he is still a lieutenant and has the gold uniform. Not a lieutenant commander, just a lieutenant. And so on and so forth. Now, there are a few things that get brought up in here that are genuinely interesting world building because Iodata Colony gets mentioned as a place that the Federation has a shipyard and that in certain timelines, the Federation was worried that the Cardassians were going to attack it and that the Cardassians were doing long-range surveillance, presumably the Federation thought that the Cardassians were going to like sabotage it or attack it or something to cripple the Federation's shipbuilding capabilities. In some timelines, then there's that timeline where the Bajorans defeated the Cardassians, and in certain timelines, you actually have Cardassians as Federation crew members. Yeah, that comes up. Anyways, though, this is going to be a really, really soupy one in terms of like looking at things because of the fact that the parallel universes are thrown at you like confetti, and you're like, "Oh, we hopped universes again. See, look, see how the color of this lampshade is different," and stuff like that. Because like a key aspect of it that they use as a way to show that universes were hopped is Worf recently earned a trophy from competing in some sort of martial arts competition. Okay, cool. What the size or what placement he earned in the tournament is a key aspect. It's like, did he get first place or did he get ninth place? Well, okay, one, I'm surprised that they actually hand out trophies for ninth place, but whatever. If it's a big enough tournament, I guess the first 10 positions would all be considered prestigious when you have to beat, 10 other contestants just to get a 10th place. That is actually saying something in a tournament where you have like 100 or 1,000 participants. Getting 10th place is, yeah, that's actually an honor. If there's only 10 people in the tournament, nah, no one would bother giving out a trophy for 10th place. Anyways, moving on. So the whole like birthday party thing gets brought up. Is like, what exactly happens at the birthday party and what things look like at the birthday party is highly variable depending on which universe he's in. Like in one universe, it's a chocolate cake. In another universe, it's a yellow cake. In some universes, Picard decides he's not able to be there. In some universes, Picard is like, yes, of course I'm going to be here. Why wouldn't I be here? And so on. Also, there's some universes where Worf is in fact the second officer on board Enterprise, and some universes where he's not. Why? Well, one thing that is a plot device that came up in certain other episodes is that Starfleet Command has decided that Riker is worthy of being promoted to a captain and taking command of his own starship. Which, post TNG is absolutely something that happens because you have the Enterprise D get destroyed, and then, like, oh, well, it's time to go do something else. So, Riker getting his own command, sure. Riker actually says in TNG that the reason that he was staying on board the Enterprise was because he was hoping that Picard would retire and then he could take over command of the Enterprise. Anyway, though, so that's one of those things that actually comes up here, though, is that there is one universe we see at the very end where Riker is the captain of the Enterprise because Picard is dead, because in that universe, apparently they ended the whole Locutus thing by killing Picard. Well, I mean, in the main universe, they kind of needed Picard to do whatever, but in that universe, apparently, whatever they did sort of worked. Although Riker in that particular scene notes that the Borg had overrun the Federation, so it's not entirely clear exactly how well that worked. Or maybe in that universe they just kind of like failed at destroying the cube that had Locutus on board, and then the Borg just like overwhelmed the Federation in general. I don't know. Anyway, like another thing is like there's a painting on the wall somewhere in the Enterprise that's something that was never an important plot point before this episode, where the way the painting is drawn, it changes depending on which universe he's in. What even is this? No one knows. But it's a different painting depending on which universe you're in. Anyway, though, like oh, another one is that is like Data's appearance varies depending on which episode it is, because like in some universes, Data actually has blue eyes, which I think is actually Brent Spiner's natural eye color. So they just kind of like didn't bother with the contacts for that one. Um. Anyway, though, there is actually like a real plot, like whole like there's a reason why the Enterprise is at the uh array thingy and trying to figure out what's up with the Argus array. Well, in some of them, because of the fact that in certain universes the Bajorans won their war with the Cardassians and essentially subjugated the Cardassians. Yeah, that was a thing. In that universe, the Bajorans were far more belligerent and um, outgoing, and would, instead of being nice to the Federation, decide that they would rather what's the best way to put this? Basically, they decided that they were going to be ruling the quadrant, not the Federation. Yeah. It's especially interesting because the fact that one of the universe shifts happens during combat with a Cardassian ship, because like in the one universe, the Enterprise hails the Cardassian ship and things get peacefully resolved by um, arrogant posturing and talking about it. But in another one, the Cardassian ship is actually in a firefight with the Enterprise, and Worf gets shifted to that universe in the middle of the firefight. And because of the fact that Worf doesn't know what's going on, he fails to do his job properly, and the ship gets damaged when it really shouldn't have been. Like there's oh, actually here's one I forgot about. In one universe, Worf didn't even go to the Batleth tournament and instead had his brother Kern take his place at the tournament because in that universe, Worf just doesn't like using Batleths. He just doesn't. Why? No. See, that's the thing with this one is that it's like, oh, in this universe, X is different. Why? It just is. They don't really explain most of them because they don't have time for it. Because oh, here's a universe where Worf didn't even go to the tournament, so he didn't get any trophy at all. And here's a universe where he won first place at the tournament because he's just that awesome with Batleths. And yeah. Oh yeah, here's what it's like. Certain parts of the way that the Enterprise is built are just different. Is it an insignificant cosmetic difference? Maybe. Oh, and then there's one where Beverly Crusher just isn't on the ship for reasons we don't understand, and that Alyssa Ogawa is the medical chief on board the Enterprise because Crusher's not here. Why? Yeah, don't worry about it. To be honest, though, I don't like the idea of doing a story like this because the fact that players will ask questions. Yeah, that's big thing to remember about this is that players are going to ask questions. Here's the thing that's different. Yeah, and then players will be like, yes, please tell me more. All of the more. Oh boy. So you would end up having to make up proper backstories for this if you're going to do it in a real game. That's the main reason why I wouldn't want to do this is because the fact that in a real game you're going to get bogged down in exposition dumping. You're not going to be able to just skip to the next scene and have people not think about it. Players will think about it, most of them, anyways. Like, oh yeah, in one of them, LaForge actually dies. That was the one where they're being shot at by a Cardassian ship, and Worf just doesn't know what's going on. Well, LaForge ends up getting killed because of that. Oh yeah, the differently styled communicators are another fun one. It's like in some universes, the crew of the Enterprise just don't wear the same style comm badges. Like this here. It's like this is an ensign rank comm badge because like with this particular one, the rank insignia and the comm badge are actually integrated. So it's like here's an ensign pip on the comm badge, and like the captain would presumably have like full 4 bars on it. Interesting idea that we never see in any other episode ever again. But it was cool. Let's see here if this has the same look. Yeah, here we are. Oh, that's another interesting thing is that um the in this one Wesley is a lieutenant. Yeah, Wesley Crusher, a lieutenant. Not even an ensign, a lieutenant. Also, both Worf and Data appear to be commanders. Why? Good question. Don't know. Anyways, moving on. Again, though, having fun with differences like that, because like they're really, really going deep into the idea of having a I'm not going to say random nonsense. The things that they chose here are things that actually in some way actually make sense. Like, a one where it's Captain Riker as captain of the Enterprise. Well, like I mentioned before, the Federation Admiralty had decided that Riker was worthy of being a captain. If for some reason Picard had left the Enterprise, then boom, Riker gets the captain's seat. And in this particular one, Worf is apparently the first officer because Riker decided that he would make a good first officer. Oh, right. Captain Picard was killed in the incident with the Borg. This is not the one where the Borg overrun the Federation, though. Anyway, though, yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, there's the one where, for some reason, Troy and Worf get married, and not only did Troy and Worf get married, they've been married for several years and have two children. That's one of the things that I thought was the wildest thing for them to throw into this. It makes sense after a weird fashion. Wait, I thought there was a picture of this. Maybe I was just imagining a picture of this. Yeah, I don't see a picture of this. Oh wait, no, 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 no. That's right. That's right. Never mind. There's a scene where Troy is like, but where's my husband going to be if you're not my husband and the father of my children? Yeah, because like in this universe, Worf had never had a romantic relationship with um whoever Alexander's mother was. So presumably that is part of the reason why Worf has a relationship with Troy instead of, yeah, I don't remember her name off the top of my head. Anyway, though, and yeah, here we get to the part where we have a Bajoran ship actually menace the Enterprise. Oh yeah, that's right. Apparently, we don't have a picture of here. Oh, okay. Um, the Bajoran assault vessel got used for the TCG version of it, but um, I'm not reading this. It doesn't actually seem as though the Bajoran's vessel was actually shown on screen. Hmm. Anyway, though, but yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about how the Bajorans becoming belligerent because they beat the Cardassians and are becoming expansionistic. Because the Cardassians actually had a considerable amount of territory. Cardassia wasn't just a single planet being mean to their neighbors. No, 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 no. The Cardassians actually had a proper empire. And for the Bajorans to overthrow the Cardassian Empire in totality means the Bajorans would need to annex Cardassian space, which is presumably why they're being so belligerent, is that they're trying to solidify their borders and give their neighbors reasons to respect their borders and blah, 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 whatever. And then we get to the final act where we have the ridiculous scene of multiple copies of the Enterprise with differing amounts of damage because, yeah, some of them got shot up before showing up here. Some of them are actually in perfect condition. And the infamous scene with the bearded Riker and a trashed-looking Enterprise hailing. Notably in this scene, the only two crew you see in the picture are the bearded Riker and Worf, uh, hunched over. Notice how Worf's not actually standing centered on the tactical console. That might just be an artistic choice to so you could clearly see both of them, because normally where Worf would be at the tactical console is directly behind where Riker's head is. But it could all, but given that there's only two people here, it could mean that Worf has been trying to jump back and forth between multiple stations, and that since he's not actually manning the weapons, he's functionally at a different station than tactical at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, just guessing. But in that one, that's like the Enterprise is battered and seemingly has several of the crew dead. Hmm. And yeah, it's like they start a firefight, and then the main or whichever version of the Enterprise that Worf is currently on shoots it once, and then it just explodes. Like, well, that's anyway though. So Worf does the thing, and eventually things get returned to normal, more or less. We think all of the alternate versions of Worf get sent back to wherever they came from, but we don't really know for sure because we don't actually have the ability to look at them. Oh, and then they end with the whole idea of Worf trying to romance Deanna Troi. That doesn't happen. We see in the movies that Deanna decides that she'd rather marry Riker than Worf, and she does that, and then in the movies has the two of them married. Anyway, though, so big picture. Dang it, hit my mic. The big picture for this one is an interesting thing because of the fact that prior to this episode, Star Trek didn't use the infinite universes idea. It didn't. Very, very few other episodes mention the infinite universes idea. Why? Because from a narrative standpoint, it's actually very boring. Because the core failure of the infinite universes idea from a storytelling perspective is that you need to define one universe as the right one, and then all of the other ones are looked at as variations of the right one, which in the general parlance will normally be the one that you see most often. In Star Trek, it doesn't even have a name. It's just the main universe, which realistically is actually like composed of multiple timelines kind of welded together because of the fact that temporal paradoxes have happened multiple times, thus drastically affecting history. And in some of the alternate universes, there are less temporal paradoxes or more temporal paradoxes, and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, moving on. As a narrative device, you're not going to have enough time to actually flesh out an alternate universe unless you spend like 20 minutes talking about it. At which point, that's basically become the entire game session is learn about alternate universe number 3. Yay. Okay, you learned about alternate universe number 3. Now we're zapping you to alternate universe number 4. Yeah, okay. You could do that. That is a thing you can do in a story. I don't personally like it. Some people might. I don't. Now, Sliders was a TV show that had that as the entire premise of the TV show. Do you want to make a Star Trek Adventures game that basically works like Sliders? Well, some people would actually enjoy that. Some people would. And that's basically what this episode was like having Star Trek imitate Sliders for a single episode. I don't actually remember which TV show came first. Whatever. Anyway, though. But yeah, it's like in TOS, they had alternate universes as a plot device. Most famously, the Mirror Universe, but there's actually several of them in the original series, not just the Mirror Universe. Like the Mirror Universe in the original series only showed up in a single episode. It's the most famous one because it's something that they did interesting things with. Note how that none of these parallel universes seen in parallels is as interesting as the Mirror Universe. There are two of them that stick out. One is the one where the Bajorans overthrew the Cardassian Empire and took over Cardassian space, and now you have Cardassian refugees as Starfleet officers. And then there's the one where the Borg overwhelmed the Federation, and thus the entire uh, quadrant is now being menaced by the Borg. That's also notably different. They're not as interesting as the Mirror Universe, though, because they don't really, have a drastically different history. It's just different in a way or two. Again, though, it's like how you make it different is something that you could play with a lot. Because, like, in Star Trek Lower Decks, they did a parallel universes one where they actually like made things drastically different. It's like in this parallel universe, the people have a completely different design style for their ships. Like, what if Vulcan aesthetics had somehow become the norm for Federation starships instead of whatever design style that they actually have for Federation starships? It's a possibility. You could do that. Do you want to, though? Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like having a campaign set in one of the like myriad spoke alternate universes where things are slightly different, where the actual campaign is about figuring out why you and your crew are in a unfamiliar alternate universe that's drastically different. I think that would be more fun than just like popping in for a few minutes and saying hi. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you later.